So one of the things about going to Barry Harris's classes over the years is like every so often, almost casually, he would drop in some piece of information that was completely mind-blowing, something that you won't have heard anywhere else, something that's absolutely true, and something that's the result of who knows how much research and dedication. One of these things is about the chord progression of rhythm changes. Most versions of rhythm changes I've seen have been something like this. B flat major 7, G7, C minor, F7, D minor 7, G7, C minor 7, F7, and then F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7, A flat 7, maybe sharp 11th, back door, D minor, G7, C7, F7. So this is, I think, what I think of as like the standard issue jazz education rhythm changes. It's not a bad sounding progression. It's got a lot of 2/5s in, which is probably why they have it the way they do. What Barry said is that, in actual fact, Charlie Parker, in his early career, didn't play the G7 at all. And later on in his career, played the G7 only in bar 3. So this is not very scientific, but I'm just going to go through some heads right now. So let's take anthropology. There's no B note. There's a third of G7. That note isn't in there. Okay, that's interesting. Let's have a look at Moose the Mooch. It's not in there either. What about the second A section? Well, it's not in there either, is it? So that's two heads that don't have the B note, the G7 third, at all. Okay, here's one that does. And that does have the G, very clear G triad there, but it's in bar 3 only. There's nothing in bar 1. So from those 3 tunes, that holds, that theory holds. I mean, you can have a look through this. I haven't transcribed all the Charlie Parker. I haven't, sorry. Right. This has a couple of upshots. So the first thing, not playing the G7 at all is quite useful for making rhythm changes a bit easier. Because, you know, there ain't an awful lot of chords here. So what you can do, in fact, is you can just turn it into a 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, and then a 2, 5 going to E flat 7 or E flat minor, whichever you prefer. I'm going to use E flat 7 today. Not that we're really interested in those bars particularly. So then it's like, play a couple of notes out of B flat 7, double, C, A, D, double, 2, 5, 1. Okay, so double, 2, 5, 1, and C, A, D, that makes it a bit easier. But you can also use your language. And it simplifies the whole thing. You can use your 2/5/1 bits, whatever. You've got a couple of opportunities to play a 2/5/1 line there. And it just makes it a little bit more accessible. Anyway, I'm going to do that with a backing track now so you can hear how that sounds. Okay then, so what about if we want to use the G7? I mean, after all, it has been a really long time since Charlie Parker was walking the earth. Jazz has moved on, lots of people play the G7 in bar 1, and it's no big deal. I want to make a little bit of a case as to why I think it's musically nice not to play the G7 actually in the first bar. If you take a look at the sort of textbook rhythm changes, it's a bit samey. Really, the only difference between those two things, really the only difference is the bass. It's just the fact that it goes. So the second time it just goes to a D, that's the only difference. But the guitar is doing pretty much the same thing. So what you end up with is kind of two bar phrases. I'll just show you that with the backing track so you hear how it sounds. So my suggestion is, by reserving the G7 to bar 3 and not playing it in bar 1, what happens is you open it out. So. That has more of a story to it. I'll do another one. So, all of those seem to have more going on. Instead of just playing two of the same, two bar phrases, we're playing one phrase and another phrase, or perhaps even just having one long phrase going through all 4 bars. And that seems to me to be more elegant. I'll play some examples now with the backing track, and you can make your own decision. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you find that interesting, and maybe it's changed your perspective on rhythm changes a bit. Rhythm changes is often a challenge for people, and hopefully by omitting the G7 entirely, it might make it more straightforward to solo through. For more experienced players, by using the G7 only in bar 3, it might give you a new lease of life in your phrasing. I find it's really helped me, and it's improved my rhythm changes phrasing no end, so hopefully you'll find the same thing. Thanks for watching.